Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thanks for watching. Today we look at side-by-side column graphs. So these are ways of comparing data visually. We've been comparing data numerically before, but this is how we compare visually, and they're very, very easy to do. So before we get to that, just make sure we know what a column graph is. Remember, you have a graph like this. Along here you have like categories, and then that's along the x-axis, and then along the y-axis you have frequency, how many people or how many scores were in a particular category. So I might ask, say, the country of birth, and then, I'll put Australia. I'll put a bar up to how many people said that, so I might got to 10, and then, if 5 people said Sweden, then I'd give it its own bar. I'd draw a bar up to 5, right? In this case, we're just comparing different categories. What we use side-by-side column graphs for is when we have subcategories. So we might not just be looking at, the country of birth for a set of people. We might be looking at how many males were born in Australia and how many females were born in Australia, and then how many males and females were born in Sweden. So I couldn't just have a bar for Australia. I'd need to divide that into male and female. That is what a side-by-side column graph looks like. Now, they're really easy to do. I'll give you a table of some made-up data, and then we'll draw one. So let's say we've got the data that is in the table here. So I've asked people their country of birth. They're the categories: Australia, Sweden, New Zealand, and Germany, 4 categories, but each category has been divided up into boys and girls. How many boys were born in the country, how many girls were born in the country. So we can draw up a column graph nice and easily. So I am going to get rid of the first column graph that I've drawn, and I'm going to draw this. I'm not going to use a ruler. It's hard to use a ruler on the iPad, but hopefully you will use a ruler and make yours nice and beautiful. So, of course, along the x-axis, the horizontal axis, we always have a categories. So here we'll have how many people, and then Sweden, New Zealand, and Germany. So we're going to use bars, columns for each of these categories, and they don't touch because it's not a histogram. So along the vertical axis, we have frequency. So from my table, I can see that the highest number there is 8, so I want to go up to 8. So hopefully yours will be nice and ruled out and all that. So then what I do is I have 2 bars per category. So I have, for Australia, I have 1 bar for boys and 1 for girls. Now, usually what we do is we keep all the boys in one colour and all the girls one colour. These are the subcategories. So for Australia, I'm just going to number my frequency as well. So for Australia, 2 bars. So I'm going to do all the boys in blue and all the girls in red. So Australia, I'm going to draw a bar up to 8, and that will be for boys, and then I'm going to do the same for girls. So there are only 2 girls, so I have the bars right next to each other, okay? So it's okay if those 2 bars are touching, but I don't want each category touching. I don't want the Australia bars touching the Sweden bars. So for Sweden, there were 3 boys, so I'm going to draw in blue up to 3, and colour it in. So there were 3 boys and there were 4 girls. So the girls is just a little bit higher here. Okay, and then we'll do the same for New Zealand. So there were 2 boys and there were 5 girls. So 5 girls goes up around here. Yours will be nice and ruled up. You're probably getting the idea by now. Germany, 4 boys and only the 1 girl. So what you need to do after you've done all this is make sure you have some sort of key. So of course I'm going to say blue is boys and red is girls, okay? So this just allows us to compare data sets. In this case, the data sets we're comparing is the number of people that were born in each country, and also the breakdown of whether it was males and females. And we can look at this graph and we can see visually there were many more boys in Australia than there were girls. There were more people born in Australia than any other country, and so on. We can make all those basic inferences from it. It's just important that you know how to construct one of these. And it is really easy. There's no complicated maths. You probably just needed to be told what is expected when you do it. And this is how you do it. So each category has has two subcategories, in this case boys and girls, and we're just displaying how many boys were born in each country versus how many girls were born in each country, and using bars to do that. And we can see very clearly from the graph for each country whether there were more boys than girls and so on. So hopefully you've got something out of this. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.